From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. announced Thursday that the Office of the President, or OP, will be donating over 170 million pesos to expedite the recovery of Cebu following the severe impact of the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that struck the province on September 30th. During the situation briefing at the Bogo City Hall, the President said the provincial government of Cebu will receive 50 million pesos from the OP, while Bogo City and the municipalities of Sogod and San Remigio will get 20 million pesos each. President Marcos said the OP will also provide 10 million pesos each to the towns of Bantayan, Daan Bantayan, Madridejos, Medellin, Santa Fe, Tabogon, and Tabuelan. The chief executive noted that all hospitals run by the Department of Health or DOH in the province will receive 20 million pesos each, while provincial hospitals will get 5 million pesos each. President Marcos said he has also directed the Department of Budget and Management, or DBM, to release an additional 150 million pesos for Cebu Province and 75 million pesos each for San Remigio, Bogo City, and Medellin under the Local Government Support Fund. The President said he would also meet with the Senate and the House of Representatives to facilitate the immediate release of the Quick Response Fund, or QRF, to ensure the speedy recovery of quake-hit areas.
I am from the Office of the President. We are donating 50 million to the province sa Bogo, sa Bogo City, Sugod, San Remigio, 20 million pesos each. 10 million pesos for Bantayan, Daan Bantayan, Madridejos, Medellin, Santa Fe, Tabugan, and Tabuelan. And 20 million pesos for all the DOH hospitals para makapag-recover. And 5 million pesos for each provincial hospital. So that's the added. Besides that, in-instructionan ko ang LGSF, ang DBM, mag-release ng local government support fund in the amount of 150 million pesos for the province of Cebu and 75 million pesos for San Remigio, Bogo, and Medellin. I think baka the other municipalities, ikaw nang bahala to find out what are the needs, and then you tell us. This is only an initial release. We are contemplating further releases that will be coming, that will be in the pipeline. Kasi naman, kung magbabagsak kami ng masyadong malaki, hindi magamit kaagad. So we'll just according to need, and we will depend on the province to give us the ongoing situation reports para alam namin kung anong gagawin.
Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ordered a tent city to be put up in Bogo City to temporarily shelter residents who were displaced by the destructive 6.9 magnitude earthquake that struck last September 30th. During the situation briefing at the Bogo City Hall, the President expressed concern about the widespread infrastructure damage, which has made residents fearful of returning to damaged buildings, including evacuation centers. The chief executive said the government would tap the Philippine Red Cross to deploy its medical field tents, which were used at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic as staging and isolation wards. President Marcos said the the government would ensure the tent facilities could provide basic services to the evacuees. The president assured the earthquake-affected communities of continued government support in the relief and recovery efforts.
Hindi tayo nakakasiguro sa mga evacuation center natin. Kaya ang gagawin namin, maghahanap tayo kung saan man yung mga, ito nga 65,000 displaced families, kung saan man sila, maglalagay tayo ng mga tent. Ito yung tinawagan ko ang dating senador na si Dick Gordon na siyang namumuno ng Red Cross. At sabi niya, makakapagpadala siya kaagad ng mga tent, yung ginamit ng COVID. Wala nang COVID ito, safe na ito. Pwede nyo na talagang gamitin para doon sa mga nasiraan ng bahay at ayaw pang bumalik doon sa kanilang bahay. Bawat lugar na yan, lalagyan din natin ng distribution para sa relief goods, para sa tubig, para lalagyan natin ng genset, all of lahat ng mga necessities para sa mga na-displaced.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday assured that all victims of the magnitude 6.9 earthquake in Cebu who sustained injuries or require hospital care will be covered by zero-balanced billing. During a situation briefing following his visit to Bogos City in Cebu, the president said this is applicable to all those that are injured, got sick, or whatever medical issue that needs them to go to the hospital. Health facilities in the province have reported a surge in patients since the tremor struck on September 30th. Officials reported that around 65,000 families were displaced by the earthquake.
And then yung aming programa na zero balance billing, applicable dito lahat. So lahat ng nagka-injury, lahat ng magkasakit, lahat ng whatever na may medical issue at kailangan pumasok sa ospital, ay kasama lahat yan sa zero balance billing.
The president traveled to Bogos City, one of the hardest hit areas, to inspect damage and meet affected residents. President Marcos visited the collapsed housing units at SM Cares Village in the village of Polambato, a resettlement project built in 2014 for survivors of Super Typhoon Yolanda. The chief executive also inspected the heavily damaged archdiocesan shrine and parish church of St. Vicente Ferrer in Bungtod Town, as well as the City of Bogos Science and Arts Academy in the village of Cogon. At the Cebu Provincial Hospital in the village of Taytayan, President Marcos checked on patients being treated in makeshift wards set up in the parking area and assured them of government support.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meantime, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has ordered the full restoration of electricity and other essential services in Cebu within 48 hours following the 6.9 magnitude earthquake that hit the province on September 30th. During a situation briefing Thursday, the president underscored the urgency of restoring utilities and critical operations. Following the briefing, President Marcos announced immediate progress in Bogos City, one of the hardest hit areas. The chief executive said the Cebu Provincial Hospital managed to maintain power through generator sets, while the Department of Energy, or DOE, immediately prioritized its reconnection. President Marcos earlier visited damaged communities in Bogos City, inspected infrastructure, and met with affected families as the government ramps up relief, rehabilitation, and service restoration efforts.
We can announce yung number one, yung kuryente. I am assured by the Department of Energy Secretary Sharon Garin, that Bogo will have electricity complete for the entire city by the end of today. Bukod pa doon, yung dinaanan naming ospital na nasa labas pa lahat ng pasyente, ang DPWH nakapagpadala na ng mga engineer tinignan yung ospital at ngayon clear na nila, safe na yung ospital, pwedeng ibalik sa loob ang mga pasyente na. Ang ospital dito hindi naman nawalan ng kuryente dahil may genset at kaagad prioritize ng Department of Energy na magka-connection kaagad.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Thursday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. pledged that the rehabilitation of heritage sites and structures damaged by the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that struck Cebu province will follow amid the relief and recovery efforts. President Marcos made the commitment after Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco told him in a situation briefing in Bogos City, Cebu, that the strong quake had caused significant damage to several establishments and heritage sites affecting over 900 workers. The Department of Tourism, or DOT, released its initial assessment of damage sustained by tourist sites and establishments across Visayas following the massive quake that struck Cebu on September 30th. In Central Visayas, the DOT said the following heritage sites and destinations suffered varying degrees of damage, from minor cracks to partial collapse, and have been temporarily closed to the public: the Archdiocesan Shrine at Santa Rosa de Lima, Saints Peter and Paul Parish, San Isidro Labrador Church, Medellin Tourist Rest Area, Capellinha de Fatima Replica, San Juan Nepomuceno Parish, San Francisco de Assis Parish, San Ignacio de Loyola Church, Kyoto Park, Bontay Walk, and Ala Mercedes Golf Course. In Cebu City, cultural sites closed for safety inspection and repairs include Kabilin Center, Museo Sugbo, National Museum of the Philippines Cebu, Yap San Diego Ancestral House, and Casa Gorordo. In Bohol, the Hinagdanan Cave in Dawis and the National Museum of the Philippines Bohol are closed pending inspection.
Dateline Malacañang.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, said the number of reported deaths from Tuesday's magnitude 6.9 earthquake that rattled Bogos City, Cebu, and other nearby provinces has climbed to 72. In its situation report Thursday, the agency said the fatalities were all from Central Visayas. The disaster response body is also verifying reports of 294 injured, all in the same region. Affected families numbered 47,221, residing in 53 villages across Central Visayas. Around 4,000 families are being aided outside, as there are still active evacuation centers as of this time. Damaged houses were placed at 597, with 501 classified as partially damaged and 96 as totally damaged, all in Region 7. The NDRRMC has yet to determine the damage to infrastructure and agriculture.
Dateline Malacañang.
In compliance with Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s directive to extend all assistance to victims of recent disasters, the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, or DSUD, on Thursday ordered its key shelter agencies, or KSAs, to implement a moratorium on housing amortization to their members in areas affected by typhoons and the 6.9 magnitude earthquake. DSUD Secretary Jose Ramon Aliling issued the order as part of the administration's whole of government efforts to provide much-needed assistance to victims of typhoons Nando and Opong in Bicol and the destructive earthquake in Cebu Province. Aliling specifically asked Pag-ibig Fund Chief Executive Officer Marilyn Acosta National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation President Renato Tobias, National Housing Authority or NHA General Manager Joe Ben Tai, and Social Housing Finance Corporation President Federico Laksa to immediately declare moratorium on amortization. As the SUD chief, Aliling concurrently serves as chairman of the board of the 4 housing agencies. At the same time, the DSUD chief directed regional offices 5 in Bicol and 7 in Central Visayas to immediately conduct a ground assessment of the extent of damage to shelters caused by the typhoons and earthquake. Aliling also directed DSUD's close coordination with other government agencies and the private sector to ensure appropriate housing assistance will be provided as soon as. A magnitude 6.9 earthquake struck Cebu on Tuesday evening, killing at least 72 people and injuring hundreds. The tremor affected more than 47,000 families, some of whom were left homeless. Last week, Super Typhoon Nando and severe tropical storm Opong wreaked havoc in the Bicol region, particularly in Masbate, leaving thousands of shelters either destroyed or damaged.
Dateline Malacañang.
Pope Leo XIV has expressed sympathies to the victims of the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that hit northern Cebu on Tuesday. Cebu Archbishop Alberto Uy said the pontiff also offered his prayers to all those who continue to face the hardships caused by the calamity. In a radio interview, the Archbishop said the Apostolic Nuncio to the Philippines, Archbishop Charles John Brown, called him to convey the Holy Father's heartfelt sympathies for all the survivors of the earthquake and his prayers for the eternal repose of the victims. The Philippines, especially Cebu, is close to the heart of Pope Leo XIV, who visited the province in 2004 and 2010, then as Prior General of the Order of St. Augustine. Meanwhile, the entire province of Cebu has been placed under a state of calamity due to the continuing increase in the number of fatalities, widespread damage to infrastructure, and disruption of basic services as a result of the strong tremor. The church and government, according to Uy, continue to work together to ensure rapid response and support for victims, especially in Bogo City, the epicenter of the earthquake.
Dateline Malacañang.
Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru and the United Arab Emirates or UAE Foreign Ministry have joined other countries in sending sympathies to the Philippines and the victims of the powerful tremor that jolted Cebu and parts of the Visayas on September 30th. In a message to Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. dated October 1st, the Japanese leader said, Japan continues to stand with the Philippines in overcoming this time of difficulties. The UAE Foreign Ministry, on the other hand, expressed the Arab state's sincere condolences to the bereaved families and wished the province and those injured a speedy recovery. Several foreign governments and leaders conveyed their sympathies to the victims of the devastating earthquake and have expressed a similar intention to assist. Singapore Ambassador to the Philippines, Constance C. said it is ready to assist in the Philippines' relief and recovery efforts in the earthquake-stricken region of Central Visayas. In a letter sent to President Marcos Jr., Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Lawrence Wong expressed Singapore's condolences over the loss of lives and destruction caused by the magnitude 6.9 quake. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim on October 1st sent a similar letter of solidarity to President Marcos. Cebu province has been placed under a state of calamity following the massive quake. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, said in its latest report that the death toll rose to 72, all from Central Visayas. The council is also verifying reports of 294 injuries in the same region.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the Philippines Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, said thousands of overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, will benefit from wage increases as it welcomed the decision of Hong Kong and Taiwan to raise their monthly salaries. In a news release on Thursday, the DMW said the decisions of Hong Kong and Taiwan marked another win for OFWs who continue to contribute to their host countries while supporting their families back in the Philippines. The DMW lauded Taiwan's Ministry of Labor for approving another wage hike for foreign workers starting January 1st, 2026. The new rates will raise the monthly minimum wage to 29,500 new Taiwan dollars, or around 56,000 pesos, and the hourly rate to 196 new Taiwan dollars, or around 374 pesos. In an interview, Migrant Workers Secretary Leo Magpayo said the approved wage increase would bring the minimum wage of a domestic worker in the Chinese Special Administrative Region from 4,849 Hong Kong dollars to 5,100 Hong Kong dollars, or around 36,253 to 38,130 pesos. The DMW stressed that this increase, if finally approved by Taiwan's Executive Yuan, would greatly help thousands of OFWs working in various industries in Taiwan and would be the 10th consecutive year of wage increases in the country. Magpayo said the DMW would also strive to provide more opportunities for Filipino domestic workers who are considered one of the most vulnerable sectors.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our post as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.